Have you ever wondered what really happens when a person dies? The eyes close, the breath stops. But what about the soul? Does it simply vanish, or does it begin an unseen journey? The Quran says every soul will taste death. But after that taste begins a mystery that no one in this world understands. The soul then ascends, passing through one heaven after another. In the first heaven, the angels welcome it. In the second, it sees worlds beyond imagination. After passing through 7 heavens, it reaches the presence of Allah. Then begins the mysterious life of Barzakh, where time stands still, yet consciousness remains. This is that story, the soul's wondrous journey, what happens after death. You are watching religious story movies. If you truly want to know the secrets of the afterlife, subscribe now and give this a like, because this story could change your life. Let's begin our entry into this unseen world. Just think 1,400 years ago, when people believed the earth was the center of the universe, a book declared, "I have created 7 heavens in layers." People laughed back then. What kind of talk is this? But in 1838, when it was proven that the earth revolves around the sun, science was stunned. The universe was no longer a single entity, it was a vast wonder constructed in layers. Today, scientists say the universe has multiple layers, each a different world, each with its own set of rules. A coincidence? Or is it that undeniable truth that humanity is only now beginning to grasp? The more science advances, the more the words of the Quran prove to be true. This isn't just a matter of religion, it's a story of time itself. The verse that was once called a fairy tale is now telling science, "See, I told you so." Have you ever considered what exactly happens at the moment we breathe our last? When all the colors and sounds of this familiar world become alien in an instant, who awaits us in that twilight? A group of heavenly angels, or some terrifying guards of darkness? For the one whose every moment was spent in remembrance of the Creator, this time of departure is a moment of supreme fulfillment. Before their eyes appear a group of radiant angels whose glow outshines 1,000 full moons. Their beauty is so legendary that it is said even the Prophet Idris, peace be upon him, was astonished by them. They come close with utmost tenderness and whisper, "O serene soul, your great Lord is waiting for you. Come, enter his paradise of forgiveness." And the soul leaves the body just as the last drop of water trickles from an earthen pot, effortless, peaceful, and surrendered. The surroundings fill with the divine fragrance of musk and amber. But for the person who denied the Creator their entire life, this scene is a horrifying nightmare. A group of angels, black as tar and with terrifying faces, stands before them. In their hands they hold a coarse, rough shroud made from the fires of hell. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ painted a picture of this terrifying moment in his words. They roar, "Come out, O cursed soul, go towards the wrath of your Lord." The Prophet ﷺ said that just as a thorny iron skewer is ripped out from wet wool, tearing every fiber, the soul is dragged out with unbearable agony. That single moment. The door to this world closes forever, and the first veil of the unseen world is lifted. The body lies on the bier, but the soul now sees a world the living cannot even imagine. It sees its relatives weeping, but has no power to console them. All the world's wealth, power, and pride seem as meaningless as dust. Ahead lies only a long, lonely journey and a stark record of deeds, which begins right from here. Leaving the cage called the body behind, when the soul first floats into the void, it finds itself in an unfamiliar, endless sea of blue light. The Earth's atmosphere is no longer air, but like a vast crystal dome, embracing it with great care. A deep, calm silence surrounds it. There is no noise, no pain, only a feeling of absolute liberation. It is here that the gate of the first heaven opens for it. The angels in charge there see it and smile, saying, "Welcome, O righteous soul. This is the path through which your tearful prayers on earth reach the throne. Today you yourself are a traveler on that path. The soul looks back one last time at the world it left behind. The planet, a mixture of green and blue, now looks like a piece of sapphire floating in the cosmos, and from within it comes a deep sense of gratitude. "Oh my Lord, how magnificent is your creation!" Then the soul begins to travel at the speed of light. In the second heaven, the moon and the sun float past it like two bright inns on an eternal road. In the third heaven, it crosses the boundaries of the solar system and enters a realm of millions of stars. Here it feels a divine cosmic breeze, as if the stars are breathing, and in their breath the fragrance of new worlds drifts. Upon reaching the fourth heaven, an incredible sight unfolds before the soul, something it could never have imagined while on Earth, our own galaxy, the Milky Way. A swirling vortex of light made of hundreds of billions of stars, as if the great creator himself has signed his name on the cosmic canvas. The supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy stands as a silent declaration of Allah's infinite power. It is then that the great mystery of creation is revealed to it. The guardian angel of the galaxy spreads its wings of light and says, "Welcome. Every star here is a word of Allah, and every nebula is a shadow of His art." Ascending to the fifth heaven, the soul is left speechless. Before it, thousands of galaxies spin like wheels of light, as if a cosmic fair is underway. It witnesses the divine dance of the birth, death, and destruction of stars. Upon reaching the sixth heaven, the limits of human knowledge, science, and imagination are shattered. Thousands of galaxies come together to form superclusters, the largest structures in the universe. The soul then sees the cosmic web, a vast design woven with threads of light, binding the entire creation together. Standing before this unimaginable order and beauty, the soul understands how small it is, yet how great its creator is. Only one sound echoes from within it: Subhanallah. When the soul reached the gate of the seventh heaven, it felt as if this was the edge of the universe. In the distance, a strange light flickered, like the first breath of creation. It was the echo of the Big Bang, a call 13.8 billion years old. The soul looked and saw that all the stars, galaxies, and light seemed like a tiny dot. Beyond that dot was something that could not be seen with the eyes but could be felt in the soul. There began an unseen realm, the region of Allah's presence. With every step, the soul's existence became lighter. At one point there was no I, only He, the surroundings filled with a light that was not the absence of darkness, but of peace. Just then a sweet call was heard. "O my servant, when you prayed to me in the world, I had already reserved a place for you in paradise. You asked for my mercy, and today I have brought you to the deepest level of that mercy. Welcome." The soul trembled at these words, and light spread through it. In that moment it understood that the entire journey from birth to death and every step after was woven into a single sentence: "Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un." Indeed we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return. In the soul's eyes, even the universe now seemed small, 18,000 worlds like a handful of dust. This journey is no ordinary one. It is the spiritual experience that every human will one day undertake. When all the sounds of the world cease after death, a path begins, of which Allah Himself has said, "O tranquil soul, return to your Lord." This is not a call of fear, but an invitation to peace. This journey is also mentioned in the Hadith, where there is a beacon of hope for the believer and a warning bell for the disbeliever. Immediately after death, the soul ascends by the command of its Lord. Then, by Allah's decree, it returns to the earth around its own lifeless body. People are washing it, shrouding it in a kafan. Some wipe their eyes, others recite verses in a low voice. But no one knows the soul can still feel. It can perceive whether the water is cold or hot, whether the touch is gentle or rough. That is why the Prophet Muhammad said, "Be gentle when washing the deceased, for the soul feels it." When everything is finished, the call for the funeral prayer is made. People line up, they pray, and the soul watches one last look at its loved ones. After the prayer, the journey beneath the earth begins. The grave is dug, the body is lowered, and then one by one shovels of dirt cover the light. Then silence. But in this silence, a new chapter of life begins, the life of Barzakh. Here, two angels arrive, Munkar and Nakir. Their faces possess a radiance and gravity never before seen by any eye. They ask, "Tell us, who is your Lord? What is your religion? Who is your prophet?" The questions are simple, but the answers come from the heart, not the mouth. For the one who adhered to the truth in life, their heart gives a clear answer. My Lord is Allah, my religion is Islam, and my prophet is Muhammad Sin. But the one who only spoke the words, but did not hold them in their heart, says, I don't know. This is where the difference begins. For the one who can answer, their grave is widened, and a window to paradise is opened. A sweet breeze fills the space, and the angels say, rest in peace until the day of resurrection. But for the one who cannot, their grave becomes a house of darkness. The walls press in, ribs intertwine, and a storm of fire rages. Time does not stand still there. Every second is an eternity of torment. Barzakh is in reality a mirror. In it one sees the light of their faith, while another sees only emptiness. It is the place where masks don't just come off, they are torn away. So there is still time. Now is the time to choose the right path, because one day when the angels ask, it will be the heart that answers, not the tongue. The world we enter through that door has no scent of thorns, no smoke, just a silent breeze. Some are watching but have no eyes. Voices are heard but no lips move. This intermediate realm is called Barzakh. What I'm telling you today isn't just from the pages of a book. It's a story of humanity's deepest fears and secret hopes. As you read, you'll think, what will happen to me when I go? Let our journey begin right there. Listen, the elders have said that after the soul leaves the body, it doesn't just fade into silence. It finds a new address. Just as we smell fragrances, hear music, and feel pain, they too understand everything in their own way. But our ears and eyes cannot see beyond that veil. That's why the news comes through the words of the prophets, through the hadith, like a flashlight in the darkness. The souls of believers recognize each other there. When a newcomer arrives, they ask, how did things go for him in the world? Who is praying for him? The beloved faces that come to visit the graves also come into their view, and some stand from afar at the doors of our homes. They see who is reciting the Quran, who is focused in prayer. They are aware of everything. Just know that while their ears are open to us, our ears are mostly closed. This life of Barzakh is not a monochromatic wall. The levels are different, the experiences are different. Some are as if awake, the consequences of their deeds laid out before them. Some are in a soft dream world, a soothing peace, or the sting of their own mistakes. For some, their inner beastliness is blunted. They are transparent like angels. Some are so light with love that they float alongside the angels. Hearing about the highest ranks will give you goosebumps. The souls of the prophets fragrant, radiant on the path to paradise. They live there in joy, and when night falls, they rest in a sanctuary like lamps hanging beside the throne, an amazing respite. The souls of the martyrs, they fly in paradise on the wings of green birds. They eat, drink, and enjoy. Then at night, they too descend to the shade of those same lamps. The souls of the obedient and righteous, they stand at the edge of paradise. They are not eating or drinking, but are satisfied just by seeing it, as if they drink from the shimmer of a distant lake. And those who have passed away with sin, many of their souls remain on rafts of air in the still void between the sky and the earth, awaiting their judgment. As for those who denied the truth, their souls are imprisoned in the deepest levels, below the below, in such darkness that the morning comes late. Is the soul's connection with the body severed? No, the thread remains taut. Imagine the sun is in the sky, but its light falls below. A connection like that. Even though the soul is in Barzakh, it has an invisible link with the body in the grave. That's why the grave, as we think of it, is not just soil, it's a door. Sometimes the door is open and bright, sometimes a cold wind blows from within. Your worldly deeds take form there, your prayers, your Quran recitation, your efforts in the path of Allah, your praises, all combine to become companions. Some come and sit, saying, don't be afraid. Some guard the door, saying, don't worry, we are here. How long is this stay? When will it end? When is the day of judgment? Only Allah knows the answers to these questions. We can only grasp this much. One day, everyone will awaken, soul and body will stand together again. To those who say, only the soul will experience pleasure and pain, we say that joy is a feeling, and to feel the body is also needed. The one who can bring life to every particle can surely make the body fresh again, if he wills. It is narrated in a hadith that standing by the well of Badr, the Prophet threw a question to the defeated disbelievers. Did you see what your Lord had promised? Hearing this scene makes it clear that the waves of words can reach the other side of the veil, but our ears cannot catch the tune. Again, stories of many saints are heard. The secrets of the world of the grave were revealed to them. Some say they met with honored souls repeatedly. Some say they received the Prophet's presence many times while awake. Whether we know it or not, it's a matter of light and sight. The source of light is over there, our eyes are here. Now a word of caution. Those who sit in circles in the dark, calling upon spirits, where tables shake and the air trembles, most of the time, other players are behind it. Jinn or devils capitalize on human curiosity to set traps. Evil souls are in chains. They cannot enter the affairs of the world. Good souls do not come to such lowly gatherings. So do not walk this path. Don't get lost in smoke while searching for light. Respect for the grave. This is not just a tradition. It's a form of basic morality. If you kick the door of a loved one's house, does it only hurt the door, the soil of the grave, the body lying there, and the subtle connection of the soul with that body? All are in a mutual dialogue. Therefore, desecrating a grave, jumping on it, committing sins there, these actions are not just a disrespect to history. They hurt the resident inside, which is why generations have passed down this warning. There's a story in a city. Machines were brought to move old graves. The machines kept stopping, getting stuck. People said, an unseen hand has stopped it. Whether you believe it or not is up to you. But the decency these stories awaken in us is truly necessary. Here, let me whisper a video title into your ear. If you ever open YouTube and see "The First Night After Death, Where Is Your Soul?" Doesn't it sound strange? Another one, Barzakh Exposed, Are You Ready? The title is dramatic for sure, but the question is serious. We are all walking towards that door. Some of us know it, some pretend not to. So what should we do? It's very simple. Keep your baggage light. Increase the good deeds that will become your companions. Focus in prayer, friendship with the Quran, helping people, praying for someone in secret. These are the things that open the doors in Barzakh. Remember, when you stand at a grave, pray for someone, speak good words. A window opens on the other side, a window through which a breeze of peace enters. This is no small deed. One more thing, don't just fight fear with fear, learn to negotiate with fear. Think of Barzakh not as some unknown monster's cave, but as a waiting hall where a game of light and shadow is played. Your ticket is in your hand. Which queue you will stand in is being decided by you today. Faith, good deeds, and repentance. These three reduce the crowd at the door. Finally, let's return to the beginning. That silent breeze, the eyeless gaze, the waves of words without moving lips. None of this is to scare you, but to prepare you. We are all characters in a story. We can write our part beautifully. Who knows, perhaps those beloved souls standing at the doorstep are waiting. Come, step inside now, see the light. The mystery of Barzakh is just that. It cannot be seen, but it can be felt. If you pause and listen today, if you lend an ear, a melody will come from afar. Do not fear, O human. Be good, we are here. Did you know that some rewards never die? You build a road, someone quenches their thirst with a glass of water, a child learns the alphabet in a school. These small deeds continue to earn rewards until the day of judgment. This is called Sadaqah-e-Jariyah, ongoing charity. Even after the soul has departed, new good deeds continue to be added to its account. The Messenger of Allah said, when a person dies, their deeds come to an end except for three: ongoing charity, beneficial knowledge, and a righteous child who prays for them. For the loved one sleeping beneath the soil today, the greatest gift is not flowers or a feast. It's a righteous deed, a well, a prayer, a supplication. These small things reach the other side like light. Distributing sweets, holding gatherings on the 40th day. These are worldly customs, but in the world of the soul, only the currency of prayer is accepted. If you want to know how does a prayer reach a soul, then watch this video, After Death Rewards Explained, the true gifts for the soul. Remember, the love for a soul lives on in the hands that are still raised in prayer. The darkness was thick, the silence so profound that one's own breath felt unfamiliar. The earth was asleep, but the sky was awake, waiting. Suddenly the door of that night opened. A man whose heart was then broken, with the shadow of tears in his eyes, the Creator called to him saying, "Come, let me show you myself." This was the Mirage Ascension. A night where time stood still, the heavens descended, and a man rose to the furthest limit of light, where even Gabriel stands still, not daring to take another step. Muhammad was going through his loneliest time. After years of boycott, the Muslims bore hunger on their shoulders, contempt at their feet, and a suffocating pain in their chests. Amidst this suffering, his lifelong support, his uncle Abu Talib, passed away. After him, Khadija, who was the Prophet's courage and the shadow of his comfort, also departed. These two losses left him utterly destitute. It was at this time that Allah gave him the gift of the mirage, not just a night journey, but the story of a sinking heart rising to the surface. In the solitude of the night, the Prophet was in a place called Hijr, beside the Kaaba. In a state between sleep and wakefulness, Gabriel, peace be upon him, suddenly appeared. He opened the Prophet's chest, washed his heart with the cool water of Zamzam, filled it with faith and wisdom, and then closed it again, saying, "It is time to go to your Lord." What a magnificent preparation! The journey began on a steed named Barzakh. Its color was brilliant white, and in a single leap it could reach the farthest point of its gaze. When the Prophet and Sabbir approached it, Barzakh trembled, for it had never carried someone so honored before. From Mecca to Jerusalem, this part of the journey is called the Isra. At Masjid al-Aqsa, the Prophet prayed, leading all the other prophets in prayer. The bridge between the past, present and future seemed to stand in a single line that night. Then 2 cups were placed before him, one with milk, the other with wine. He chose the milk. Gabriel said, "You have chosen the fitra. Had you taken the wine, your community would have gone astray." It was a moment where a single choice changed our future. Now began the mirage, the journey through the heavens. Angels stood guard at every gate of the 7 heavens. Gabriel would say, "This is Muhammad, he has been summoned." Then the gate would open, and a shower of greetings would begin from one heaven to the next. In the first heaven, Adam, with the affection of a father, said, "Welcome, O righteous son." In the second heaven, Jesus and John, cousins, but closer than brothers in the bond of their souls. In the third heaven, Joseph, whose beauty would make the moon shine. In the fourth, Idris. In the fifth, Aaron. In the sixth, Moses. Even the angels were taken aback by the tears in his eyes. He said, "A prophet has come whose community will enter paradise in greater numbers than mine." Yet he greeted him with love. In the seventh heaven was Abraham, the symbol of monotheism, the architect of the Kaaba. He embraced the prophet like a father, like a father. Finally, he was taken to the boundary, Sidratul Muntaha. There was such light, such colors, that no eye has ever seen, nor has any imagination ever touched. And it was there that we were given our most precious gift, Salat, prayer. Initially, 50 daily prayers were prescribed, but the Prophet returned again and again on the advice of Moses. In the end, it was reduced to 5 daily prayers with the reward of 50. Just imagine the love a prophet must have to return repeatedly to the court of Allah, thinking of his community's hardship. After completing this journey, the prophet returned in a single night. The next morning, the people of Mecca started to mock him. "You supposedly went to the heavens." Amidst their disbelief, one companion stood up and said, "If he says it, then it is undoubtedly true." He was Abu Bakr. From that day on, he was called a Siddiq, the truthful companion. The mirage is not a fairy tale, it is a reality. It is not just the Prophet's journey to the heavens, it is the night that opened the door of prostration for us. The same night a man stood before Allah, we received the 5 daily prayers, our personal mirage. Now the question is, will we also ascend? Will we, through our prostrations, touch that door? When you stand for prayer, remember this is not just a supplication, it is the rope tied to the door of the heavens. Every prostration, every rak'ah pulls your heart just beneath the Sidratul Muntaha, where the light never fades and love knows no bounds. The night of Mirage says, you can ascend if you want to. The only question is, do you want to? Listen, let me tell you about a door. A door that upon opening stops the calendar, freezes the hands of the clock, and makes the earth and sky hold their breath. Our beloved Prophet ﷺ reached that door one night. There he witnessed scenes so profound that giving them names would shatter them. Yet we tell the story because the fragrance of truth is hidden in stories. First he ascended to a house, Bayt al-Ma'mur, the Kaaba of the heavens, one might say. There he offered prayer. Gabriel stood beside him and explained that every day 70,000 new angels perform tawaf here. None of them will return for a second time until the day of judgment. Just imagine a continuous flow in one place, no repetition, only moving forward. If someone made a video about this story today, they would title it Tawaf of 70,000 Angels, unveiling the mystery of Bayt al-Ma'mur. And could you resist clicking? From there the journey continued. Ahead lay Sidratul Muntaha, the lotte tree of the boundary. Its leaves were so large that an entire caravan could rest in the shade of one. Its fruits were as large as the great jars of the world. Gabriel said, "This is the final limit. I am forbidden from going further. One more step and I would be burnt to ashes. The limit, do you understand? The final line for knowledge, perception and creation." The beloved Prophet Satan stepped forward alone, beyond time and space, into what we cannot capture in language. In the words of the Quran, the distance of 2 bow lengths, or even nearer, only this much can be said. The rest is silence. Near the Sidra, 4 rivers were seen. 2 were hidden, the streams flowing within paradise. 2 were visible, the Nile and the Euphrates, which flow in this world, but their source is tied to the mystery of the hereafter. When we hear these things, we wonder, is everything connected? The answer is yes, but we cannot see the entire design. Now listen to the news of the Arsh throne, the great throne, a creation but the most vast. 18,000 worlds are within its expanse. Currently 4 immense angels carry it. On the day of judgment, the number will be 8. The heavens are one above the other, like the layers of an onion. The gap between each layer is such that a journey of 500 years might not be enough to cross it. The moon, stars, planets, all play beneath the first heaven. Above the 7 heavens is the Kursi footstool, a covering whose majesty is hinted at in Ayat al-Kursi, encompassing the heavens and the earth. And above that is the Arsh al-Azim, the pinnacle of glory. Now about humanity and our story. When the time of death arrives, the angel of death pulls the soul from the fingertips. The body grows cold. The person understands that they have left their own home. Meanwhile on earth, washing and shrouding are underway, and the soul is shown its potential abode in paradise. Look, this is your place. Then the soul temporarily returns between the shroud and the body as a tiny entity like a bee. The soul hears whatever people say by the graveside, be it good or bad. When it is time for questioning, it returns to the body again, ready to answer. The soul of a believer is taken by angels with beautiful faces, dressed in fragrant garments, with radiant body language. They offer reassurance. Do not be afraid. They are welcomed at every gate of the heavens. At each level, the angels hear their identity and say, "Proceed, welcome." Passing through veil after veil, the soul reaches the vicinity of that great tree, Sidratul Muntaha. It is said that its branches spread throughout paradise, its roots descend into the depths of hell. There is mercy, and there is also a warning. Here the door is knocked upon, a kind of test. Ikhlas, meaning was the intention behind the deeds purely for Allah's pleasure, or was it mixed with showing off? If the heart is pure, a sea of fire opens up ahead. Astonishingly, it takes 1,000 years in the calculation of the hereafter to cross it, but the fire does not even touch the breath of a believer. After the fire come several other seas of light, of darkness, of water and of ice. Crossing each takes 1 year of the hereafter, which is like a day in this world. Time here no longer follows our calendar. It is a completely different scale, a different rhythm. After crossing this path, the soul reaches the presence of the throne of the Most Merciful. What we call veils, there are 80,000 layers of them there. In front of each veil are 80,000 glorious platforms, and on each platform 80,000 radiant spheres. If the light of just one sphere were to fall upon this earth, all the vanities we engage in would melt and sink into the ground. It is there that the majestic question is asked, "Whom have you brought?" The angels then speak of that servant, their good deeds, their tears, their hidden charity, their lonely night prayers. Then Allah, the Exalted, says, "A good servant." This is said in front of the angels, so they may bear witness. Then the angels are moved aside. Now the servant is alone before their Lord. This is the most difficult moment. The servant is then shown their sins, the ones they had kept hidden, the ones that if known would have shamed them before their family and friends. It feels like it's all over. The heart breaks. But right there another door opens, the door of mercy. A voice comes, "I concealed them in the world. Today I have forgiven them. Take him to paradise." The very moment it felt like sinking into the deepest, darkest abyss is the moment one is pulled into the light. This is the mercy of the Lord. Let's go back a bit. This universe of ours, the galaxies, nebulae, telescopes, calculations, all of it is actually on the lowest level of that grand design. We live at the edge of the first of the seven heavens. Above those seven is the Kursi, which in turn is beneath the Arsh. The Arsh, a created entity, not eternal but in terms of scale the largest. This much we can comprehend. After hearing all this, if the question arises in your mind, then what is the meaning of my small life? The answer is this: the sincerity in your heart is your meaning. For whom you do what you do, that is what will one day open the doors. Here's an intriguing thought. When the journey from this world to the eternal path begins, it is truly an ascent, one heaven at a time, one door at a time, one test at a time. Faith is the key, worship is the fuel for the journey, and sincerity is the compass. If someone wants to hear this story in another way today, I would say another video title comes to mind: Sidratul Muntaha, the mystery beyond the door, what lies beyond, because the question itself keeps the story moving. The story of the Mirage, therefore, is not just a description of going up. It is actually a lesson in recognizing limits. Where Gabriel stopped, that is where our knowledge ends. Where the prophet went, that is where words end. Humans and angels each have their limits. The Arsh, the Kursi, the seven heavens, all are creations of Allah. Above them is Allah's power, limitless. The weaknesses of this world, matter, time, distance, are all bound by His command. That is why when you place your forehead in prostration, a red carpet is not laid out before you, but a door opens above, one that is not visible to the eye, yet is real. One final word: we will all one day leave this narrow world. Until then, learn how to knock on the door. Prayer is the conversation. Charity softens the heart. Repentance after a mistake is returning. There is no need to look good in front of anyone, because at the door of the Sidra, showing off gets exposed. When you arrive after passing all the doors, there will be no time, no map. There will only be the Lord's mercy and peace. You will be told, this is your home. The story does not end here. Rather, it begins from here. Because tonight, if you learn to speak the truth, stand by someone in need, or cry silently in a room alone, a door above might just stir a little for you. And if that door one day opens completely, then you will realize how long we have been merely standing at the threshold.